Hello everyone, a very good morning. So today we are sitting at day 18. Okay, so we are what do you say, past the midway mark at this stage, nearing the third week. We are entering almost the last part of the second week, and after this is going to be the third week. So you see, these are like the difficult times. If you notice, if you try to be consistent at anything, these are the times when certain times you just feel that okay, it's getting easy, it's getting easier, but it gets immediately difficult. Yes, hello Falguni, good morning. Hello Pooja, Karthik, good morning everyone. So these are the times when you feel like it's difficult. You want to stop. It often gets messy. But often, what follows if you stop? I mean, a good example will be if you try to wake up in the morning, because this morning practice is essentially tied with the waking up, with the habit of waking up in the morning. So if you see that, if you try, and if you see that it's not working out, and then often the chances are you want to quit, you go back to your comfort zone, what immediately follows up is a lot of regret. I will always tell you, the regret of not trying, the regret of not giving your best is far worse than far worse than any feeling of discomfort that you'd feel when you try to stay consistent with it. So my kings and queens, congratulations for joining me today morning. We are going to start today's sketch, day 18 scrape. Here we go. All right, so see, if you notice this image of, this is a person like holding these knives, like you can see it's something similar to this. Like there are three things here, and then he's having a certain grip. He's having a certain grip like this. So what we're going to be drawing is, we'll be drawing the hands, we'll be drawing the fingers, and we'll be drawing the three knife that goes with this. Okay, now drawing the hands can often seem like a very tricky thing. Like when you try drawing hands, it can often seem like a very tricky thing, and we will tackle this along first as we try to draw. First thing, I want to get my hands coming at the center. So I'll just pick the midpoint. I'll find the midpoint and I will draw that. Okay. Start the midpoint. And I'll draw this. Then from here, what I want to do is, I want to first draw the big chunk of the shape that forms my arm. I mean, the hands, the fingers, and everything included. Like if you look at the shape of the fingers, it can look complicated. Like, like how one finger is coming, how suddenly another is folded, how another thumb is folded. Fingers are actually a difficult part to make a drawing. When you look at everything, fingers are a rather difficult part to make in any drawing. So we try tackling that. Good morning, Mahi. We'll first start by drawing off the large piece here, a really large piece here that I want to draw. Right? So you see, now this is the shape of my hands. You notice one of the fingers can come here like this. Okay, you're just drawing a large shape that has everything. One finger can come here, while a lot of my palms can go here. I was saying paw, it's palm, can go here. And then one of the fingers can come here, the other finger can come here. See, now you see the fingers can come here, the thumb can come here. All right, so the thumb can just come here. See, and just drawing out the position for this. And these knives, right, these three knives, which is the main subject matter here. three knives. So one knife you can simply draw. Like notice how I'm not getting into details of any of this. I'm just drawing an end here and a stick that can go a little more. Maybe I can keep this a little shorter as well. I need not take it this long. Right? So just drawing one knife here, second one. The second knife that can go here, and the third knife. How many of you here have done knife painting before? I would like to know that. Although I've tried my hand at acrylics, I've not ventured into knife painting. I mean, before I could try something with knife painting, I decided to make the permanent switch to pens. So I couldn't really try knife painting, but it seems very interesting. Ah, that's very nice. Pooja has tried knife painting with oils. That's lovely. So is this girl with the pearl earring a knife painted one, hand painted by you? So now I have this. I can start forming the shapes here. See, now I have the big shape. I'm drawing the smaller shapes. The lines that I had previously drawn will simply serve as a foundational structure, inside which I can draw the rest. Okay. So here's a finger that can come here. So one finger that is coming here, then another one. See this one is turned towards the front, and I'm simply using this structure of this one. Since a lot of these fingers are going to be concealed by the brushes, I can draw them as such. Whereas whenever you're drawing a finger, just make sure you're getting its shape correct. You're getting their shape on track. Okay. So here is the shape that's coming, and then this is, since this is turned towards the front. I mean, the knife painting works in a way that it's not more than about, it's a different kind of detailing. Like it's about adding more layers and layers and layers and bringing it like that. Like this finger, if you look at this finger, it looks like this shape here, like this from the side. Now, when you're seeing this from the front, you will see that on the front there is a bulk here, right? And then this forms a nail. So if this forms a nail, there is this flesh here, which we show. Now the third finger is coming here. So this part I'll not be able to see as clearly, and that's okay. Then here's the thumb. So for the thumb again, I just need to make sure that I'm getting this reads correct, since this thumb is what is gripping this. Since as a knife, like when a knife comes here, I'm just drawing the grip of how the knife, when the knife is coming here, this is being held on its grip with the support of the thumb. So you just need to draw the thumb accordingly. Like it wouldn't make sense if you drew the thumb in another direction with no correlation between these and distance. I mean, think of how this would grip as the palms and the fingers are coming here. I can simply grip this and simply grip this up. I can draw the scene. So now I have now I have all the basically everything I need for this. So let me just add a little bit of thickness for these fingers. So I feel it's lacking. Pay special attention to the proportion, how the thumb is slightly thicker than the rest, how these portions are divided, how there is a fold that comes in because of due to the joints. All right. And then now I can start drawing the knife with the grip. Start drawing this knife here, this grip here. So sometimes you'll see that the basic position with which you draw, these will change as I'm drawing now. As I'm drawing now, as I'm hearing it, this is not exactly falling in line with what I drew initially, and that's completely all right. You can change the position, you can change all that. As long as the drawing isn't drastically altered, feel free to change the position of these and all that. You don't have to suddenly, sometimes what happens is how your mind will automatically go is, oh, I drew this here and this isn't coming. So maybe you should somehow distort the brush, distort the knife so that this goes here, and immediately you'll try folding it, you'll try bending it in all kinds of awkward ways so that you can get it. That's not be the case. And when I'm drawing, notice how I'm starting to draw from the grip and not the other ways. Because the knife grows outwards from the grip. Like this is the source point, this is the base. From here, it's just growing outwards. Like, yeah, I'm visualizing this as a kind of a growth. Like imagine how you see in Star Wars. So it's just the grip and then the sword just boom, grows out of this. Right. So, hey Rajesh, today's prompt, I'm confused. So, scrapes, if you look at scrape, what's the meaning behind scrape? Right? Scrape is simply that sound. Scrape is that, like, even if you're scratching your fingers on the sketchbook, you'll hear that sound, that scrape. If you pass your chalk on a blackboard, you'll hear that very annoying sound, that high pitch volumes, and that makes you cringe. That's scrape. Scrape basically is that sound that's produced when something is rubbed, scratching along a hard surface. That is why I am choosing this knife. So you can draw with something, you can show something scratching along, you can think along that line, you can show how that sound. For example, just giving an example, you can show how the scraping of the chalk against blackboard used to irritate you as a child, in school. So you can probably show things of that nature. Now I want to set the angle for this. So since this one is actually slanting towards this side. Right, this is slanting towards this side. And I want to draw this here. When you're thinking about Inktober, it's a lot of this is just about the ideas that how you get. I mean, it doesn't have to be drawing masterpieces and all. And when I'm picking a drawing, I'm simply picking it along the line that is there something new that I can offer in each drawing. Like for example, in yesterday's one, I could show how these different textures, how they could come, how they all blend together, and all these. In this one, there is an entirely new concept of hands, fingers. So that's what I am seeing for in my selection of drawings. Then now I'll also do the third one. Okay, I just need to make sure that these are going in different angles so that they don't clash, they don't coincide. And you need not show all of them coming in one level. Like when you're holding this thing, one you hold in them in different levels. So keep that organic flow going. So this is going to be the third one. Okay, this is going to be the third angle for this. Please note how these levels are changing. See, this is held a little above, this is held much above both of them together. Now the third one, it again. And when you're drawing this, don't show a disconnect between both of this. Like, there is this grip here, and then suddenly this is bended in a different direction. So you want to show the perfect match that all of this is actually connected well together. Absolutely. October is the perfect time to improve our sketching skills. More than sketching skills, it gives you so many habits. It helps you build consistency and habits. It helps you, teaches you to think more clearly. So another interesting thing to notice, this is a really thick knife. This is a slightly thinner knife, and this is a smaller knife. Okay, this one is a smaller knife. So that's another thing that you can bring into, another thing to note as you're making the sketches, to vary the size between these three. See that? Don't make all three knives look the same. Okay, so now I have this knife, I have this fingers, I have all of this. Now what's remaining? Now let's start inking this. Let's start detailing. Let's start inking this. Okay. Let's just zoom into the each one of those parts as we. That's very nice, Rajesh. Of course, like when you're trying something, anything new for the first time, it's always intimidating. It's always very intimidating when you're trying something new. Now I'm drawing this thing here, these fingers. So just carefully you want to sketch out the shapes. It's rather interesting when you're So now going to get the next, see, pay attention to the fold here as I'm drawing. Slight folding, bending inwards, and then it's going outwards. Now when you're drawing these, you don't want to make it like an awkward kind of fold as well. You want to pay attention to how the shapes, how all of this is coming in shape. That for the brush I'm going to use so here I've used 005 pen. I can also show add in nails inside this. So once I have this shape, I can add nails inside here. You can also, now I'll show you the additional darkening tips, but later on, first let's just sketch the outline. Because there's a lot we can do in this to get depth. It's outlining this here. So this follows a rather straight line. And sometimes when you're inking, like there can be a disconnect between the pencil and this. Just work it out as you draw, just carefully just outlining this. It's outlining. Third one as well. So and this third one as well. All right. So now I have this. Now a very interesting thing, a really interesting thing that you can do to enhance depth on this is you can darken the spaces where the fingers and this meet, and see that really helps create the sense of shadow. And you know that this is being held here. Otherwise, it will look very flat. It will look like the fingers are pasted on it. And of course, this darkening is not something you do everywhere. You do it in certain areas where you want to create this, the sense of shadow and depth. See, like I mean, like when something is being held here, like hardly any light comes in between these areas and these fingers. So you gotta really think. You gotta think and apply your senses to just darken it up there. Think and apply your senses. So you can darken it up there. So you darken this, you darken like that. Now we can just go into the details of this. I'll just darken this brush here. This brush, I can add a little bit of texturing on this. Just hatching over this brush. See, just using straight lines, just using these lines, zen lines to get this. I can add a metallic texture on this also. So just selectively darkening a few of these areas. See this? See, just adding this black line in between and doing this. I'll show you. I'll do that again here. Just want to leave gaps and just add these bands of lines, and immediately with this contrast that comes with white and black, immediately metallic tech, this feeling of metal comes in play. And that is different from how you're hatching here. Here you're placing consistent hatching, a system of consistent hatching, so that you can get that tonal look. Here you're hatching to create tones. Whereas on the top, you're hatching to create texture. But here for this one, it just plays an alternate light band and you get this, the trick is done. And similarly, just darken a few areas of this knife. Just you'll see that certain areas are black and you just darken that. To get that feel of this. Similarly for these knives as well. You can hatch and darken some of these areas and just add nice little these dark lines in between these knives. So you can do it in between this, you can do it at this edge. So just darken this edge here, and you see how this immediately creates a nice contrast and a metallic look on this. So we are darkening it here, slowly bringing this down here. And now that we are done with this, I can just add a few hatches and this along the fingers. Just a little bit of final touches. Nice. There. Very simple, yet it conveys this powerful effect. Now, if you want to get a little bit more of this, you can actually, just add a nice backdrop to this, which I think will actually look very good on this. Like you can create a very interesting background with horizontal hatches, showing how these hatches are going to come here. You can show how hatches are going to come here. I can just create a backdrop for this one. Let me show you a small portion of how that will look. So this helps create a backdrop for the sand, that conveys this idea of scrape pretty well. Straight lines. It's a bit clear if you have been practicing years and lines. Let me try to connect these. Okay. That's it. Let's sign off for today. It's Niranjan signing off. And today is day 18. Scrape. I love this. Ooh. You can also just darken these hand outline to make them stand out. And darken the hand outline to make them stand out a little. Okay. So there you go, guys. So we'll see you again tomorrow, day 19. And what is it for day 19? Ponytail. Tomorrow is day 19 ponytail, and I cannot wait to catch you tomorrow. So until then, take care, have a wonderful day, and I wish you all the very best. Share your drawing, show it off, tag at Soulflow Art. We'll do it. Yes, let's do this. Let's draw a horse. Yeah.